The Middle East is once again on fire. What started as Israeli airstrike inside Qatar has now turned into full-blown diplomatic earthquake. The attack left several people dead, outraged not just in Qatar but also its allies and neighbors. And here's the twist, ladies and gentlemen, this time even Russia has stepped into the ring. Moscow's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov, he didn't mince his words. He called Israel's strike cowardly and accused their Prime Minister, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, of deliberately wrecking peace talk. Why? Because while Hamas negotiators were in Doha reviewing a US-brokered ceasefire deal, Israel was bombing the very country where those talks were happening. Russia says that this proves that Israel is not interested in peace, but only in widening the war. But Russia isn't standing alone here. Be it Saudi Arabia, be it Iran, be it Qatar, all are condemning Israel's actions. Yes, you heard that right. Saudi Arabia, which was once on the path of normalization with Israel under the US pressure, is now publicly slamming Tel Aviv. Iran, as always, is backing the Palestinian cause, and Qatar, whose capital just came under fire, is furious and rallying Arab opinion against Israel. This is dangerous because the Middle East, it runs on alliances, right? And those alliances are now shifting that too really fast. The Gulf Cooperation Council, which includes Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, they have already warned that an attack on one member could be treated as an attack on all. Now can you imagine that? Israel may have just turned not just one but multiple Arab states against itself in just one strike. Now, let's not forget the US factor here. Washington is caught in the very awkward position, right? On one hand, it is Israel's closest ally. On the other, its biggest military base in the Middle East sits inside Qatar, the very country Israel just bombed. For decades, the US has relied on Qatar as its go-between Hamas and other groups. But if Doha feels betrayed, then what happens to America's influence? Does Russia step in to fill that vacuum? And that brings us to none other than Vladimir Putin. By openly siding with Qatar, Iran and Saudi Arabia against Israel, Moscow is basically signaling something very clear. Russia wants to be the new power broker in the Middle East. With America's attention on all the wars that are going on in the world, Russia sees an opportunity to move in, unite Arab anger and push Washington aside. So let's ask the big question. Are we looking at the early sign of a much wider war? Because right now, Israel isn't just fighting Hamas. It's facing the possibility of a united Arab front with Russia cheering them on, Iran fueling resistance, and Saudi Arabia shifting away from Washington's script. One Israeli airstrike in Doha may have just set off a chain reaction that would change the balance of the power in the Middle East. The US and Israel now risk losing ground in the region that they thought they controlled. And if this snowball keeps rolling, the conflict could easily spread beyond Gaza, to Qatar, to Saudi Arabia, and maybe even across the Gulf.